Boys and girls, the shed is back after a long hiatus. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. We're back in the shed itself.
We've got a little fire going.
The fire's ready. We just traumatized all our LA listeners. Shit. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We start our fires in the houses, in the stoves, so it works a little different. Yeah.
And we got a nice heated floor going on here as well, which
We
I like.
do. We've got a nice little setup. So, yeah, how was your Christmas?
Great.
Good.
Yours?
Yeah, man, it's nice to be back. Feels like fucking ages. We were meant to do one on Christmas Eve, weren't we? And then neither of us just messaged each other on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. I can't remember quite what happened there.
You're probably... you've been in Finland.
Yeah, I was in Finland, and I think during my trip, I struggled not doing any work. So when I got back, I was hustling.
Yeah. Well, I remember it getting to the evening of Christmas Eve, and I was like, oh, we meant to do a podcast today, and then you hadn't messaged me, and I was like, it's Christmas Eve, and then it just didn't happen, basically.
Yeah.
So, oh well, we could have had a nice Christmas-themed episode, but next year.
Next year,
yeah. We'll have to have a drinking podcast one time, on an occasion like that. It'll be quite funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Get an appropriate guest.
Yeah, and just have a few drinks. I like the sound of that. But yeah, you asked me just before we started when we're going to double our kit, and I honestly think for the time being, this podcast is always going to be in its like embryo stage until I get out of uni.
Yeah.
So we could invest before then, but I am so poor right now, like so poor, until I get out of uni. So, I want to contribute to that. I want to split it, obviously, just so that it's all fair. So maybe in the summer, in June, when I'm done, then we can like quadruple down on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm down. I also think we need to put energy towards building our podcast product, because that thing has got legs.
Yeah,
I'm telling
you think it's got legs?
I think it's got legs.
I think it'll be quite hard to do. That's the only thing.
I think I can do it.
You think you can do it?
Yeah.
So I've done some coding over Christmas, actually, related to my dissertation. Without boring everyone, it basically, what I wanted it to do, the original plan, it was very ballsy, was basically I would train a transformer, like I would train a neural net, essentially, to be able to distinguish whether or not comments on a YouTube video were agreeing or disagreeing with the content of the YouTube video. So
Right.
I would give the program the transcript, and then I would give the program the comments, and then it would be able to be like, this comment agrees, this comment disagrees, like that. And I had to train it on pre-marked data, so I had to go through videos, and I did 800 comments in Chinese, whether or not they agreed or disagreed with the video. So just like really boring. And anyway, and then you train it, and then you give it test data, you give it various levels of test data, and then at the end you test it to see how accurate it is compared to ones that you've already marked as like agree or disagree, and it like tells you the percentage of correctness that it has. Anyway, I couldn't get it above like 65%, which is only that far above 50-50 guessing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was so hard, and I had to use
I wonder
so
how
much.
many of them though, because comments are like neutral. Do you have a neutral setting?
Yeah, you have a neutral setting as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you have 3 settings.
Was it like using like a generative AI or something?
It was using a transformer, which is what underpins AI.
Okay.
But it wasn't with AI itself.
Can't say I know all that much.
It was with the tools that gave birth to. So GPTs is a generative pre-trained transformer, and I was training a transformer. So if you train,
Mate, you have been coding.
yeah,
Was there much actual code?
yeah, quite a lot. But
Oh, really?
a lot of it was all ChatGPT assisted, shall we say?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was really difficult, and it was one of those things where I would like debug it and shit, which would take a while, because I'd be like, I don't know what that bug means. And then when you've debugged, it still wouldn't, like, do you know, it just felt like false peaks on a hike, where you keep thinking you're at the top, and then you're like, fuck, it still doesn't work. And then eventually I got it to all work perfectly, but I couldn't get it above this like 65% accuracy rating. And that was when I realised I'd climbed the wrong mountain to begin with. Do you know what I mean? And it was, I'm going to have to climb the whole down and then go up another bigger mountain, essentially, to get to where I want to go. It was just like a case of my framework for the whole thing was just nowhere near good enough, basically. And you'd have to train it on way more data, and you'd have to have a completely different setup. And when I tried to look into that, it was like far too complicated. So
Right.
So now I'm just doing random sampling.
It's good that you've had your first exposure to using creating AI.
Yeah.
Based apps rather, and I think that'll help for when we do our little AI project.
Yeah, I mean the thing for me, right, is that I could have just used ChatGPT probably to rate the comments as agree or disagree, and it'd be way more accurate. But I didn't want in my methodology section where it's like, how did you do your data analysis? Like, I fed it into ChatGPT because it just doesn't. Professors still aren't ready for that kind of shit to appear in papers. So and I understand why. So I'm now doing a much less cool approach. But the point is, all I was going to say then is I think if we did build this product, we could just use AI, full blown AI. The stuff I was doing isn't necessarily relevant.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
You don't.
Yeah,
you don't.
It's not a research paper.
I was trying to reinvent a part of the wheel so that it would look cooler.
Basically, what we would be creating is a user interface that helps you use pre-existing AIs in a particular way. Yeah. And it has particular functions that AI can already do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it would be one of those apps that's powered by a particular AI.
Yeah. Something.ai, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's keep it mostly under wraps because
we can build it though. I'm telling you, give me. In 3 months' time, I'll probably start working on it.
Okay. How's the string art store coming along?
It's good. I've been learning so much programming.
Nice. To what end?
All website development.
Yeah.
So I've built a whole login function and stuff. But I've been tackling each thing. Some of it's not that hard, but I've set it up so my login function works well. It's cyber secure and it works well.
Yeah.
So you can log in, get email sent to you for click this link and it verifies your account and all this stuff.
That's cool.
And I've been learning about all sorts of cyber security things because you need it really.
Yeah, you're not going to do any SQL attacks on your website.
Yeah, you can't. Well, as far as I'm aware, you can't do that. I the other day implemented some. I forget what it's called. It's a timing function attack. I think it's called, where people can figure out what accounts email addresses exist and are on your database by how quickly a login page returns something.
Oh, really?
So if the account is not on there, then it returns immediately. But if there's an account on there and you put the wrong password in, then it runs a query and it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then it still.
So
clever. You have to. So people can scrape for email accounts and then provide scams and stuff.
Interesting.
So I had to put in some stuff to combat that, and it's actually quite difficult. You have to, because if someone's a statistician, they will figure it out.
Yeah.
So you have to make it randomized, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty pretty involved.
That is really involved, but it sounds like you're covering your bases because I didn't even know that kind of attack existed.
I only found out it existed when I write the code in its bare bones.
Yeah.
And then I give it to an AI. I'm what things are likely to happen for cyber security wise?
Yeah.
What attacks could happen?
Yeah.
And it shows you. And I'd say the 3 most common things I cover anyway, just because you do. It's good.
Yeah.
Kind of code hygiene, I guess you call it. But some of them I'm I did not know that's a thing. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And the scarier thing as well is often AI doesn't give you the right solution. I found ChatGPT doesn't. Yeah.
Do you have ChatGPT Premium?
No, I use Claude.
Oh yeah, that's meant to be better for coding, isn't it?
Yeah. So
very
and
nice.
I use the guys at work because they're helpful.
Yeah,
they know stuff. It's good.
Yeah, cool. And how was Helsinki briefly?
Helsinki is an awesome place. The airport, to begin with, is probably the nicest I've been in the world.
Really? Interesting.
Everything's made of solid wood.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, because they got so much wood there. And they've got I always wonder why airports don't have places for people to lie down. They're so uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're shit.
Yeah, and I don't get it. Why? Because you've paid and you're there.
Yeah.
Why not just...
Because you can pay more, probably, and go to the premium lounge.
True.
Yeah.
Well, not in Helsinki. There are, little bed things that you can lie on.
That's nice.
They're chairs, but beds. And then there's, this little... I don't know, it's a nature bit where it plays like bird song at you, and you can go sleep in it.
That's
It's kinda-
awesome. That's so cool.
yeah.
I bet it was bloody cold. What kind of temperatures was it in Helsinki? when you were
It
there?
actually wasn't as bad. It feels colder here right now.
Really?
Yeah, but it was like, I think it was actually colder. It was like -5. Or something
Okay,
like that.
it's quite
worse.
cold, but
yeah.
you were prepared with your layers, presumably.
Yeah,
so
we
you
were
fine. Yeah.
pretty kitted out.
Yeah.
The city, there's no one there, mate. It's so, the population is so small.
Mm.
I don't know what a comparable UK city is, but I
Mm.
imagine like Reading or
Reading, yeah,
something. Yeah,
Derby, yeah.
yeah, where there's not that many people.
Yeah.
And it's surrounded by a huge forest. Yeah.
Did you get to go and see any of the forest, or were you just in the city the whole time?
Yeah, we did actually.
Yeah.
We went for a good little wander into the woods. It's nice.
That sounds cool. That sounds
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
Like a lot of the Scandi countries, it's a wealthy place.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of nice
Weird
things there.
language.
The language was very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Food was good.
Yeah. What do they eat?
Moose.
Moose. Did they really?
Yeah, I
Did
had
you
a
have
moose
moose?
burger.
Was it good?
Tastes like beef.
Yeah.
Like slightly strange beef, but still
yeah,
beef.
but beef. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds sick. Did you go to any saunas or anything?
Yeah, we had a sauna in the apartment, and we went to some of the
Oh.
public saunas as
Oh,
well.
that sounds
which were pretty
awesome.
cool. I swam in the sea as well. It was
Did you?
fucking cold.
Yeah. I did that on maybe the 3rd of Jan. Me and some of the boys went for a swim at West Wittering.
Oh yeah.
And we picked that day because it was the coldest one. It was -1 out. It was like midday and it was
I wonder what the
-1.
water temperature was.
I don't know.
Like
but
5 degrees or something.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Single digits definitely. But
yeah.
it was so cold. It was so cold. We were only in the sea for about 5 minutes, and that was a push. It felt like 15.
Do you remember we did that?
Oh yeah, we
Probably
did that.
way
West,
warmer,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Was
we
that
did- yeah, it was West Wittering. I'm sure it was.
but was that Christmas time? I feel like I might have been.
It might have been, but I don't think it was nearly as cold as this because I've done
No.
that every year
Okay.
with the same friends. I think this is the 4th year running, so not every year, but for the last 4 years, and it's been it was fucking it was by far the coldest it's ever been when we were in it. And then I got really ill the next day. Didn't get
Right.
out of bed for like 2 days, and now my dad is ill, so I gave it to him whatever I had, but
Some West Wittering lurgy.
well, I think my immune system was shot for the rest of the day trying to recover, and then I picked something up from someone or something. So I don't know, but yeah, the dangers of swimming in cold water, everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if that. You hear sometimes people say like, no, it's good for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, mate.
Well,
I don't know.
I think you get ill because it dries out your airways.
Oh.
The cold. So apparently,
That kinda makes
if you do
sense.
cold, but then you have a hot shower or you have some kind of hot steam in your face, then it
Good to
shouldn't
go.
make you ill. Yeah, that's why it's bad for your immune system.
I see.
So you can take measures against. Fucking hell, the fire's
Just throwing some shit.
yeah, like I said, the
What
LA
was that?
viewers. I'm sorry, guys. I know there's lots of you out there probably tuning into the podcast, but yeah, now you can still hear fire raging even on the podcast. But yeah,
We got to stay warm, eh?
yeah.
Yo, I went camping
Yeah,
I
it
went
looked
camping-
cool in the thick snow.
in Wales. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't that much snow. It was maybe 3 inches.
Okay.
2 or 3 inches.
Yeah, it's not quite outdoor
Um,
boys, but it's still cool.
Yeah, it was still pretty cool.
Yeah,
It was hard to stay warm
Mm.
because I have a 2-season sleeping bag.
Oh god, yeah.
So, that was interesting.
yeah,
But yeah, we went on a nice little
who'd
walk.
you go with?
Sean, Calvin, and Carl.
Nice.
So pretty experienced group, really.
Yeah,
Um,
Sean's like of everyone I know. I don't even know him that well, but of anyone I know, I'd want him on like a hardcore camping trip. I feel
Yeah.
like he'd be so useful.
yeah, he knows what he's doing. So,
yeah.
but we found a really not very good camping spot because where we were was all managed woodland.
Right.
And, normally we like to go camp in the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
And this managed woodland, it was all like coniferous. So all of these pine trees, and they just plant them on these patches and then 20 years later chop them down and repeat.
Right.
And it turns into a massive bog. There's
Oh,
no
really?
ground life under
Oh no.
such dense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we couldn't camp in those. So we camped on like basically a path that they used to go between them.
I
And it was
see.
like a road, basically,
Yeah.
which kind of sucked. And there was where we camped were quite young woodlands, so there were no dead trees, so we couldn't have a fire.
Oh.
And bruh, I got this new folding saw, which is sick, by the way. It's like the coolest fucking thing I've ever
Fuck
bought.
yeah.
Went into the bog to go cut a tree down,
Yeah.
the tree down, and you have to be quite careful where you stand in the bog so you don't
Yeah.
sink into it and get
Yeah.
your feet wet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I pick up this tree, which I estimated weighed about 60 kilos.
Yeah.
It was heavy. It was like
yeah,
a big
Yeah.
stand on the bit of bog where I just come in on, and it just sunk straight through because I'm obviously 60 kilos heavier now.
Yeah.
And both feet got wet, and my boots froze overnight. Yeah, it was pretty grim. That
need
part
those
of
like
it.
snowshoe things for the bog, you know?
Yeah.
They would have been quite handy.
They would have been handy.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool though. It was kind of weird as well, sleeping in a tent in the snow, because my tent, the snow would settle on the roof of the tent only for a bit. Then once it got too heavy, it would all slide off in one go. And every like 15 minutes, it would wake me up again because I feel like the tent's falling in.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, there's like 1.5 feet of snow built up either side of the tent. It's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh, dude, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So I got wet boots.
Yeah. You need to piss or something.
I need to piss.
Yeah.
And I'm not going outside.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
so you know the phrase like I haven't got a pot to piss in.
Yeah. You piss in a pot.
I piss in the pot.
Amazing.
I left it outside my tent. Showed the boys in the morning.
Yeah. Nice chilled piss. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the relief though.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I slept like a baby.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad.
Calvin didn't. He slept in a puddle because he didn't realize there was a puddle where he slept, where
Oh,
he pitched it because it had
no.
started snowing,
Yeah.
and he only had a foam roll mat, so he
Oh.
was freezing, and he got his feet wet as well. So
Yeah.
poor guy.
But that's the fun of it, isn't it? It's not fun at the time, but afterwards, you're like,
Afterwards
that was
it's funny.
so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't die.
Yeah. As long as you don't die.
Yeah.
That's
There were moments
crazy.
where we were like, "Are we gonna survive?"
Yeah. Jesus. Well, imagine doing the full Alaska experience. where
Yeah,
you're like,
I'd need some more kit.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
probably a few more lessons.
A lot of kit. Yeah.
Yeah, my 2 seasons not good enough.
So
bro.
when you cut down the tree, what was that for? To make a fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you made one?
No.
You just cut it down and were like, fuck this, and went back?
Nope. So I cut it down.
Yeah,
It was the only bit of wood I could find for ages, and my
Yeah.
plan was to bring it back.
yeah,
Saw basically two bits off that are like the length of my forearm.
yeah,
I had a machete as well, so I had
Yeah.
a saw and a machete.
yeah,
I'm ultra light hiking, by the way, so they're my luxury items.
yeah.
I whacked my machete in the top and start like using the other bit of wood as a mallet, and it
Mm.
just would not go. My machete is too shallow blade.
Really?
It wouldn't
Really?
go through, and the wood was frozen about an inch in from each side, so
Mm.
it's just too hard. And pine's really dense wood, so fucking
Wasn't gonna happen.
it wasn't gonna happen because everything was wet. The only way I could have started a fire is if I got loads of like little splinters of pine
Yeah,
and started building it up with
Mm.
bigger and bigger bits, but it wasn't gonna happen.
it's crazy how high stakes. Like imagine if that was actually a survival situation. It's like that has to go. Like the wood. Do you know what I mean? It's like shit like that. Like curveballs like that get thrown at you could be like the difference between like life and death. In
Yeah,
some cases,
it's why you
do know
got to
what I mean?
practice it because we wouldn't
Yeah.
have got a fire that night.
No.
We would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been exposure.
Crazy.
That would have been to actually survive. We would have had to just keep hiking
Until you found
until we found a much better camping spot.
Yeah,
And that's what I wanted to do anyway, but the other guys didn't want to do it. So
fair enough.
um,
You were more outdoor boys pilled than them. You wanted to like get the full experience with the campfire. Make a
I really
structure.
wanted a campfire,
Yeah.
but it was kind of one of those decisions where you either go deeper into the forest and try and see if we can keep like
Yeah.
actually find a good spot,
Yeah.
or I wanted to go back to somewhere where we knew there was a good spot, but it was
Mm.
near a road,
Right. And
so
they
it
were
was
like,
kind of
yeah.
they didn't want to do it, so we didn't.
Fair enough. Next time.
And
Was it
yeah.
legal? Was it legal camping? Because
no, you can't wild camp.
you can't wild camp,
No.
so you're just being
The-
cheeky. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we were on this trip completely self-sufficient. The only damage we did was I chopped down a dead tree. So I'm
Yeah.
basically doing them a fucking favor
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
what they do anyway.
Yeah.
They weren't going to get any wood from that. And we didn't even burn it. So we were completely self-sufficient. Yeah, like all of the food and everything we brought. I guess we took some water. We had a little water filter.
Yeah.
They can let
You
us off for that.
bastards. Yeah. No. Well, up in Scotland at this time of year would probably be a cool thing to do.
Yeah,
Maybe next winter when I'm a free man.
we should do it.
Yeah.
I'd like to go camping. I don't
Yeah.
think we've ever been camping.
No. Except for
Only
the
festivals
surfing,
and stuff.
the surfing, trip,
Yeah,
which is-
surfing.
that's different though, isn't it?
Mm.
That's not camping for the sake of camping.
No.
Yeah. No, we should do that. I don't have a saw or machete though, so
You can carry my saw.
okay. Thanks, bro. But yeah, I'll have to invest in a bit of kit probably. But
Yeah, we all had pretty good kit actually, quite light.
how many tents did you have?
One each.
One each. Yeah, just
Yeah.
the little ones.
Our
yeah.
packs were like, Carl and Calvin were at like 12 kilos each for
yeah,
their.
Yeah.
I was at like 14.
Yeah.
But that's basically due
Yeah.
to how much food I eat
Yeah.
and having tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I
yeah.
couldn't really get it much lighter.
Did you have a stove or something?
Yeah, we had 3 stoves between the 4 of us.
Cool.
It's a bit silly doing that. You don't need to do that.
No, you probably don't, do you?
No.
What was dinner?
Like a boil in the bag wasn't very nice. Dehydrated one.
Yeah, they're not nice, but if you've
They're
walked,
so light.
if you've walked for like 12 hours like a, outdoor boys man, then it's probably fucking delicious.
yeah.
I want to make the bread. Have you seen the bread that he's made?
Yeah, but bread dough's so heavy.
Yeah, true.
I would love to do that, but
Yeah.
it's what I want to do is a camp where I don't have to worry about weight because I camp near where I park. So I do
Yeah.
a long circular hike
Yeah.
that comes back to the car,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And then I can just grab my bag. Or you just do 2K from the car and you take 2 bags. And
Yeah,
then you dump
yeah.
one in a hedge in a
Or you buy a little sled thing that he's
Yeah.
and drag it. Yeah.
what's that thing called he had? Like a snow dog, I think it's called.
Oh, I don't
Where
know.
it's like a snow tracks or something. It's like a big thing with tracks and it pulls you along. I think it's called Snow Dog.
That's quite cool.
Yeah. I didn't look cool in the video. I kept falling over.
Yeah.
Like a right pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But yeah, that kind of shit seems really cool to me. And I always think when he eats or something, or when he sleeps, it's just like that must be the most, even though it's like bad food and probably a bad night's sleep in terms of like, comfort. It's like, it would just be the most heavenly experience after like
Yeah.
he's hiked for like 10 hours.
Nah, the most heavenly bit would be getting home, getting in a normal
Oh,
bed.
yeah,
You'd be
hell
like,
yeah.
"Oh,
I've thought
dude."
that before when I'm watching it. Like, if you did like a week of that where it's just like 12 hours of labour starting at 5 a.m. when the sun rises, and like this like scratty food in your tent and all the rest of it, and your clothes are all damp and you're not dry for the entire 5 days, and then I've been like, imagine if you went to like a luxury hotel or something that night, and it's
Dude.
just like that's like dopamine, like that's as good as it gets, right? Because you've just been starved of any kind of like
Well, this is like, it's a thing, hey? It's, do hard things
yeah
where you suffer.
yeah
It's kind of backwards. Like, I'm going to do hard things and suffer so that I feel better.
yeah. Oh, it's definitely true, and people don't get that these days, I don't think so.
Well, it's what cold plunging is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But lots of people can't be asked. Yeah, it's kind of laziness, I guess. Or people aren't so driven. I don't know. I always love that, like, the Marcus Aurelius quote where he's talking about lying in bed. And he's like, was I born to lie in bed and be, like, I need to get up, basically. Face the day.
I actually don't think I've done nearly enough homework on Marcus Aurelius. Like, I there's so few things I actually remember from it. I wonder if I actually read it or
Did
not.
you
Yeah,
read Meditations?
I read it, but it was a really long time ago, like around the time we met, probably.
Really?
And yeah, and I'm not sure that I like internalized it as well as I should. To be honest.
It's a quite a hard read, I think.
Yeah,
If you actually try and digest it.
Yeah.
And I'd say about 80% of it is really quite meaningless.
Well, I'll get back to it. I like the Stoic shit. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. You gotta, like, if you go on the internet and look at stoicism,
Yeah.
it's like 80% garbage.
Yeah. I saw
So much broicism. That's what they call it.
Broicism. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this tweet the other day, or it was a screenshot of a tweet. I don't know if I was on Twitter, but it was some guy being like, "How do you Stoics contend with the fact that Marcus Aurelius' wife cheated on him with a gladiator?" And it was just like all these Stoic people being like, "Oh, I can't do Stoicism anymore." Like, now that I know this,
That's
I don't even know if that's true, but I might have spread some 2,000-year-old misinformation. But
Yeah.
yeah, interesting shit. Apparently that did happen. So
Wow.
maybe it's a page of the book that I skipped where he mentions that his wife cheated on him.
I don't remember that bit.
It kind of sounds like bullshit because like.
How would we know?
Well, yeah, and also, what gladiator's got access to the emperor's wife?
Yeah.
I suppose maybe she's got access. to it.
Also, I mean, if you were taking it from an actual Stoic angle,
yeah,
if that did happen, he'd probably be like, "Well, it's outside of my control what she does."
yeah,
Like, I guess I will leave her then.
yeah, and that's it. That's the only thing I can control is whether or not I stay. And then he
Yeah.
just dips.
I feel like a lot of people think that that the circumstance of being cheated on says something about you. Whereas
Yeah.
it's actually how you react. Is the do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. And
It's
what
like
it's
how
about
what a
them.
pussy he got cheated on.
Yeah,
It's like that's got nothing to do with him.
you are a pussy if you stay though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not in every case, but like that's the point where it becomes a lot easier to call someone a pussy if they.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his girlfriend's cheated like 3 times and he's forgiven her every single time. It's like that's not a good look. Yeah,
No. It's difficult.
it is difficult. It's really
Is it?
difficult, and
Yeah.
you know, it could just be about them. Like it could be like, oh yeah, the mistake you made was getting with this hoe in the first place, kind of thing. Or it could be like, but you know, it could say something about you. I don't know. That's what would go through your head at the very least, even if it didn't say something about you. I think it's quite hard to like.
Yeah, I guess it's also kind of hard. Like, what if it does say something about you? What if they are like, he's just a pussy? I'm gonna cheat on him.
Yeah. Surely that is true as some of the time.
But okay, that's what they think of you.
Yeah.
But how you react is up to you.
Yeah.
Just because that's what they think of you doesn't make it true either.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Wouldn't be a nice feeling. But yeah, I guess it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Cheating, man, not great.
Yeah, morally not good, is it?
It's not brilliant. It's not brilliant. I just think a lot of people have really weird values. Like like most humans have weird values. Like the amount of people that you wouldn't want to date, just as soon as you meet them, you're like, I couldn't date you. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and then there are people that you would date, but then you would quickly realize they're a bit weird, and then you pay for that down the line when they did cheat on you or something. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like, I don't know. I always just think, and this is a bit of a broader thing, but like, I just think it's so interesting how many people like want a relationship in our generation. Like so many people are not in relationships, right? Like sex is meant to be at like an all-time low, historical low between young people.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's mad.
And it's just like, if everyone wants more sex, shouldn't that just automatically correct itself?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just,
well, I guess it's a lot of probably people who just don't have enough confidence
yeah,
across both genders.
Yeah.
All genders.
yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well played.
This is a good woke podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, Jamie. Please.
But like, you know, there's people who try and tackle like kind of disaffected men who you know, destined to live in the basement for 3 decades.
Yeah. Or more.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. It's
Yeah.
an easy place to end up though, because everything is vying for your attention. Every app, every like, you can't get away from it. If you go out, even bus stops have like digital ads on them that are so your eyes automatically go to them because they're like bright colors and they move and
no one's fucking standing at a bus stop without looking at their phones anyway.
yeah. I was reading the other day about using your phone and how like every time you stop in a queue or something, you like unconsciously make the decision if you're going to take your phone out or not and look at it. And it massively impacts kind of novel thought. Like it's essentially about boredom. If you pull your phone out, you're not bored.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to stay away from boredom because boredom feels bad.
Yeah.
So I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to be bored. So I'm going to look at my phone.
Yeah.
And a consequence of it is you become less thoughtful, essentially. You get your thoughts handed to you, I suppose.
I heard an argument, it was about mental health, that basically the theory is that the reason mental health just keeps getting worse and worse is because this guy was arguing it all comes down to sleep. And he was basically saying it's not just that people are on their phones too late at night, but it's that because they look at their phone throughout the day, when you get into bed and you turn off the phone, all the novel thoughts that you should have been having throughout the day come up, and then you can't sleep because it's the only period of reflection in your entire day.
Crazy. And for some people, it's even not. They
Yeah.
just play music.
Yeah. What,
Or they-
throughout their sleep?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Or like just leave fucking Netflix on and fall asleep with it or something.
I think that's wild.
yeah.
I
Well-
only do that on planes, so I feel like it's warranted on planes when you're like, I know it's going to take me an hour and a half to fall asleep.
I like having nothing on a plane.
Yeah,
I-
raw dogging planes.
I raw dog them, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go in with no protection.
Really?
I
Can't do that.
sit there.
Surely not on a long haul flight.
Not long haul. They're short haul.
12
They're
hour
like
raw
4
dog.
hours or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long haul, I'd probably sleep.
Yeah.
But I sometimes read a book. Never listen to music or
Really?
yeah.
On a plane ever?
Nah. Well, I have done, but I don't now.
Right.
Because I never take my headphones, and I don't have little earbuds, so I
Mm.
never take my headphones because they're too big, and I
Yeah.
only take carry on.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but what I was gonna say, sort of additional to your point, is if you don't ever process the things that have happened in your day
Mm.
or in your life
Yeah.
with thoughts,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're never processed, they're ongoing. They're never like closed.
It's like having an inbox full of messages.
Literally.
Yeah. Mm.
And if you never give yourself the time and place to process them, obviously it never gets done, and that looks like looking at my phone all day.
Mm.
It's like, instead of standing in this queue and processing something that happened earlier and
Yeah.
getting over it,
Yeah.
or you don't have to come up with a solution, by the way, either.
Mm.
If something happened, just literally, like something bad happened, like I had an argument with my manager and it went badly, I feel like I was in the wrong maybe. You go in a queue, you think about it, that literally can resolve it in your head,
Mm.
and you'll feel better about it.
Yeah. But
Even if you don't have a solution to the problem,
yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
But if you get your phone out and start scrolling about like Andrew Tate clips on TikTok or something, you won't process it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's why meditation's a really good thing.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what it's like, dedicated time where you're doing that super deliberately. Because if you choose not to get your phone out in a queue, you're not necessarily deliberately confronting all of like your inbox of thoughts.
No,
But
it is
it-
meditation, I'd say,
yeah, to
in
some
its
extent.
own way.
Yeah, in the modern day. Standing in
Yeah,
the queue
yeah.
is
I
just
mean, I
modern-
suppose it would be normal about 40 years ago,
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Yeah, less, I guess. I don't know, but I do. I
Yeah,
do wonder
probably less.
if like, because everyone talks about phones and mental health, but when they do, they're talking about like body image or something on social media. They're talking about it from like the comparison side of the internet and like all that kind of thing. But I just think just generally having your mind constantly.
Yeah. No time for your mind to. It's like
Yeah.
a muscle. Like,
Yeah.
give it some rest, bro.
Yeah.
And the biggest implication for me that makes me, this is the thing that actually makes me stop
Yeah.
on the phone,
Yeah.
is or I wouldn't actually say stop on the phone. It makes me purposefully be bored. Is the novel thoughts are super important for invention and innovation. So if you want to come up with good ideas,
Yeah.
be bored, you will
Mm.
be better.
Mm.
There are literal studies about it. It was like I think the study was, they give you either zero board time, they like make you do something for 6 minutes,
Yeah.
you're bored for 6 minutes, or you're bored for 15 minutes, and then they give you I can't remember, it was like a paperclip or something. It's like, come up with as many innovative inventions as you can with this paperclip, and
Yeah.
the correlation was like mad.
Really? Yeah, I can believe it. I heard John Cleese, the comedian from Monty Python, was basically saying like he credits boredom with like all of his career basically, because apparently when he was a kid he was like, he moved around a lot, he never really had any friends because his family was constantly moving, and like he lived in the middle of nowhere, and he used to just like go and lay in a field somewhere for like 3 hours and just like, he was just super bored all the time. And he said that's where he used to just come up with shit in his brain to keep himself entertained, and that's how he became a comedian. Allegedly.
Monty Python's wild as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
That
yeah,
shit,
it's
that dude's
totally
brain is
mental.
Yeah. It is mental. That is the
Yeah.
word for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. But he said that was his childhood. So,
mental.
and he was making basically the same point we're making, which is just that, you know, like people can't sit with their boredom anymore because of their phones, and he worries that that's gonna do some real damage in terms of creative output that our generation puts out in the future and that sort of thing.
Absolutely agree. But it gives us an advantage. If you can be bored, if you can deal with how uncomfortable it is to be bored, you're at an advantage. Because not many people can. Like very few people can, I think.
Yeah. Should we just sit here in silence for 30 minutes and
Yeah.
get bored?
Yeah,
Get
if
our
you
viewers bored as well. Yeah.
yeah, viewers, if you're a Chad, then you'll stay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah.
Right, should we talk about the moon?
What were we going to say about the moon?
I don't know, but Sam got his telescope out and
Yeah.
showed me the moon, which is out in full force tonight.
It is. It's a nice clear one tonight, isn't it? It's dark out there.
It's
so-
very crisp and clear.
Yeah.
I think probably because because it's so cold, there might be something to do with the humidity, which makes the
yeah.
the moon look so clear.
I think there's very little humidity at the moment.
Yeah.
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 Huh.
Last night, like I said to you last night, me and my buddies drove out into the middle of Frensham Common actually,
Yeah.
and got the binoculars out, looking at the moon. We looked at Mars as well. You could see it.
That's
Little
cool.
red
Little
blob.
red dot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to have a telescope powerful enough to actually look at Mars properly.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd
That
be
would
really
be
cool.
insane.
Jupiter is really cool as well because you
Yeah.
can see the spot and you can see its moons.
Right.
Jupiter's a really good one. I'm gonna do a bit of research on telescopes right now. I'm just gonna Google like high-powered telescopes.
Dude, we need our product. We could just do it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about why I got this from Neil deGrasse Tyson, why the craters on the moon are not oval shaped, but instead circle shaped.
Okay. What's the reason?
So you would think they would be oval shaped, right?
Because the asteroid would be
'Cause-
oval-shaped, or
No, because the asteroid would impact at an
Yeah.
angle.
Oh, I
more
see.
than likely.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, because it would get caught by the orbit,
Yeah, and it would swing round and good point.
swing
Okay,
round, and yeah. The reason why it's a circular crater
yeah.
is because when the asteroid or comet or whatever
Mm.
hits the surface of the moon, it doesn't impact like a bullet would. It explodes
Right.
because the energy it has hitting the surface
Yeah.
is more than the energy holding its bonds together. So basically, the kinetic
Really? It
energy
just
is
smashes
more.
it that hard.
So it doesn't care what the momentum was before. It just explodes
Yeah,
in
I see.
situ
Yeah.
and makes a
Yeah.
circular
Huh.
crater.
Huh. That's cool.
I kind of do wonder if the momentum has to be conserved. So I don't know how that kind of works in terms of. I mean, I guess the energy has to be conserved.
Mm.
Maybe that breaks the momentum has to be conserved rule that we learnt in further. What was it that we were doing further?
Mechanics.
Mechanics. Yeah. Fuck.
I can't remember any of that shit, man. I can remember a bit of physics, a bit of chemistry, but the maths is gone. The
Really?
Maths the maths is gone.
I remember quite a lot of the maths. I've dropped physics after only a few months.
Yeah,
so.
you did, didn't you? Yeah, you did more maths than me, didn't you?
Yeah, we kind of flipped. You were more of a scientist. I was more of the mathematician.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
I sometimes kind of wish I was a scientist, like a proper fully fledged scientist.
It is cool.
It is so cool.
It is really cool.
We need to get some on here, bro.
I would love that, to be honest. Rekindle it, because it's still like a passion. I guess you could say passion. I don't really do anything towards it, so I don't know if it counts as a passion, but it's still something I'm super interested in.
Yeah.
It's just a case of like, it's hard as a hobby.
I always like to think of the world like we're born into a world, and it's just a big puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah.
this? Why are we here? What's the
Mm.
and science is like the trying to solve it, which is kind of cool, or it's trying to understand more of it.
Mm.
At least that's what a lot of science is, the fun science.
Telescope image of Jupiter.
I had a really cool way of explaining why we can't see more dimensions.
Go on, let's hear it.
Now,
Like you can see
Sam
something like
show me Jupiter. What is that? What you could see through?
That's the kind of thing you could get in your garden.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
insane.
which would be so cool.
You can see like
the
the
little moons.
rings around it and the
Yeah.
moons around Jupiter.
Yeah, I mean that I'd imagine with that level of resolution, you would need
A really expensive.
either that or that's just
Photo.
not a garden telescope. I've got a feeling that might be a
That
proper,
might be, yeah.
proper telescope.
Actually, me and my friends were going to go to the observatory in Winchester, I think it is.
Mm.
You should come.
Oh, I'd like that. I've been to the Greenwich one, but I went during the day.
God, that.
I mean, it's like a museum, so
Yeah.
there was still shit to see. It's not like
I need to go there. I haven't
Yeah,
done that.
it's
I
cool.
might do that this weekend, you know.
What, in Greenwich?
Yeah.
because you're going to be in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Remind me when I leave. I want to put it in my diary.
Yeah, cool.
So dimensions, mate.
Yeah.
Imagine you are a 2-dimensional being.
Yeah.
So you live on the surface of a piece of paper.
Did you come up with this? Or
No,
is it-
I read it in Black Holes, which is by
Yeah.
Jeff Forshaw and Brian Cox.
Okay, cool.
So imagine, I think they used a tabletop. Imagine you're on a piece of paper
Mm-hmm.
and someone is casting a shadow from a 3-dimensional object
Yeah.
onto the 2-dimensional piece of
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
If you're a 2-dimensional being, you can only see the shadow, which is
Yeah.
2D, from
Yeah.
a 2D perspective.
Yeah.
So say it's like, I don't know, someone holding up the middle finger, and that's the shadow on the thing. You
Yeah.
can identify that.
Yeah.
But then they move their hand around,
Yeah.
and it changes, and you're like, oh, it's changed shape.
Yeah.
You can't understand
Yeah.
how the 3-dimensional
Yeah.
has changed.
Rotate. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same with seeing more dimensions for us. Like, we can't picture
Yeah.
how, say, like, space-time becomes warped around a heavy object, because
Mm.
it's like another dimension on top of the
Mm.
3 that we kind
Sure.
of can visualize.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty cool way of explaining it.
Yeah. It's
Kind of like-
interesting.
Something can move that exists right there in front of you,
Yeah.
but you can't see it.
Yeah.
And the implication of it doesn't make a lot of sense because you can't see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The other, I've heard other things like, again, if you're a 2D being, imagine your reality as a piece of paper, and you're on the piece of paper. It's like someone could bend the piece of paper round into a loop, and then you could walk across the piece of paper and end up back where you were, with no
Yeah.
understanding of why that just happened. Because your 2-dimensional reality has been bent through a 3rd dimension, but because you have no way of perceiving that,
Kind of
you're
fucked.
just like, it's repeating itself. But it's just you walking like through a 3rd dimension without having any awareness of it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Which is what we do.
Yeah, yeah.
We go through more dimensions and I think, I mean,
Mm.
fucking fuck do I know, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's so baffling that we know that time travel into the future is possible as well, by the way, which is crazy.
Do we?
Yeah, because you have to go, basically if you travel very fast
Mhm.
away from us
Yeah.
and back,
Yeah.
you will experience only a few,
Oh, I see,
periods
like
of time.
relativity and all that kind of thing.
and then it's relativity.
Yeah,
So that is time travel.
yeah, I guess it is.
And also, if you go near a very heavy object, then time goes slower.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if
Gotcha.
that's just time goes slower for a distant observer, or if time does go slower when you come back again. I feel like it might not.
I think for you, time doesn't move any more slowly.
No, it's always
Yeah,
it
but-
always feels the same.
But but then
Could you imagine?
yeah,
You go near an object, you're like, whoa.
yeah.
As you
Yeah.
walk around.
It's like, have you heard all the stuff of, falling into a black hole and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff about how much that would and like, how like time and space would become a single point and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, like it's not the center of a black hole
Yeah.
is not a point in space, but a moment in time.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't it so fun?
Yeah, it just it just
It
doesn't
is
make
the
any
end
sense.
of time.
It's the end of time. Yeah, you would watch as you fell into it, you would watch the entire life of the universe speed up until it reached nearly infinite speed, and then when you reach the center, that would be the end.
Yep.
Like that would be you reaching the end. It doesn't even really make any sense.
But
I mean-
if the black hole's spinning and it becomes a wormhole, and if you could somehow make the wormhole stable enough for you to go through it, you
Yeah.
could potentially go through the gap between black holes and white holes,
Yeah.
and then you would be in another universe. And
Okay.
there are theories, if you do that through multiple black holes, you can end up back in the universe you were in before. So that adds another dimension.
Yeah. Okay. Should we do it? Nice.
Yeah, you have to avoid getting spaghettified on your way into the black hole.
Yeah.
And also, all of the math shows that wormholes aren't stable. When you
Yeah.
go into them, they collapse.
Yeah.
So you
Interesting.
just end up at the end of time again.
But wormholes do exist, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I mean, could
Or-
black holes exist? Is that not fucked? You can
Yeah,
take a
but-
photo of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they did, didn't they? It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen YouTube videos of people doing DIY
DIY
Photo
black
of
hole.
of a black
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
It's pretty
very
mad.
nice. DIY Asian hole.
Yeah, I had these.
Seen a few of those.
I had these books piled up in my room. Like
Yeah.
one of them's black holes, one of them's white holes, and I listed it off to Sam. It's like, oh yeah, I got to read black holes and white holes, and then
Yeah.
Sam just kept going Asian holes.
Yeah, I'm a
and-
scholar of Asian holes.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Yeah.
that one to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few books. Well, not books, but anyway, yeah. It is all super interesting. The other one I heard was that like a photon of light, which obviously travels at the speed of light. It's like if you reached the speed of light, if you were a photon, because like, so as you approach the speed of light, you get length contraction, which is like distances become shorter, time dilation, time slows down, all this kind of thing. And it's the same thing as that as you reach, if you were a photon, the entire universe, all lengths become zero. So just everything would just keep shrinking until you were everywhere at once. Which is
it doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't make any
So
sense.
I think the biggest mindfuck is time not being absolute though,
Yeah.
because that's beyond, like, most people are like, bruh, you're chatting shit at this point.
Yeah.
When you say time isn't absolute, and we've evidenced it with that, you know, when they took the 2 atomic clocks and put one around the world, and then they were different.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yo.
Crazy shit. They have to apparently they have to do some really complicated maths on satellites that skim the sun, like satellites that go really close to the sun. They have to completely recalibrate the communications because the satellite is experiencing time differently because it's close to the sun, which is obviously a massive object.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually mad.
Yeah, and that's given an example of like proof of Einsteinian relativity because
Yeah.
you can. That's one.
I mean, one other thing that was a lot of evidence towards Einstein's theories was Mercury's orbit of the sun,
right.
which doesn't make sense under Newtonian physics.
Interesting.
Don't ask me to explain it to you.
Well, I guess just because it's close to the sun, right? It's just something.
It has a like highly elliptical orbit close to the sun, and all of the other planets make sense under Newton. But the reason why is because Newtonian physics is an approximation.
Yeah.
So, and Einsteinian physics is probably an approximation.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everyone was like, "How dare you like question Newton?" Right, when he was like, because he was like, what's the word? Dismissed, right? A lot.
Yeah.
In his early days before he had like.
But because he's such Chad.
He is such Chad. But like, I feel like one day it will sound the same. It's like you're trying to disprove Einstein right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And someone, I guess, will in some way.
Well, hopefully they come up with what's it called? A quantum theory of. What is it called?
Theory of everything, that kind of thing. Like
there's a name for it.
a unified theory.
I think it's just called unified
theory of physics. It's just
quantum theory of physics. Or something.
There's quantum and then there's relativistic physics, and they're completely separate. Like, you can't get them to merge.
It's weird, isn't it?
But if you could get them to merge, then you would have like a more complete picture.
Is it not a quantum theory of gravity?
Oh, well, that too. I mean, here's the thing, bro. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about here.
We need someone on.
It's probably both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But, yeah.
Who do we know who's a physicist we can get on? I asked one. He said no.
I don't know any... I don't know any who are like that kind of theoretical physics.
It's kind of
stuff.
sad.
I knew one guy, actually. I don't really know him, but I've seen him around, and I remember asking him what he did.
Yeah.
Because he matriculated with me. Like, he started at uni at the same time as me, but he was matriculating as a PhD student, and he was Romanian, and he had done his like undergrad and his masters in America somewhere. He looked like Jesus, Romanian Jesus, this guy. And I remember asking him, like, what's your PhD about? And he was like, tensors in the 7th dimension. Like, it was like that. And I was just like, whoa. Yeah, something to do with tensors anyway. I don't really know what that word means.
No, me neither.
It's a geometrical, like something geometrical.
Huh.
Yeah. It's maths, but it's like the maths to map super complex things in the universe.
See, I love learning about this stuff, and I'm sure it's so interesting doing that.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking effort.
It would take so long just to like get through like the tutorial. Do you know what I mean? It would take so long.
Imagine leaving how many lectures you'd leave where you're like, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like nothing seems applicable to it. Like you're learning and it's like, oh, you need to do like Lagrangian, like fucking like Dirac equation, like all these fucking like super complex, and you're learning it and you're like, okay, this is some really hard maths and I have no idea what it's for. Yeah. And like you just might not ever find out, but it's like you have to learn how to use this equation or some shit. Like I don't know. But just maths generally, like I kind of around the time we were doing maths together in college, I was like, but
really?
Actually I miss it.
I miss it. Yeah. I really miss doing like I kind of have substituted it for coding.
Yeah.
But I like the coding is baby steps right now. The maths we were doing was actually quite complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Mate, integrating by parts and all that shit. Can you still do that? Probably.
Yeah,
right?
we did loads of that at uni.
Yeah. I obviously haven't done any since we did it together. That was the last time I did it.
Honestly, that was not the most complicated thing we did in maths.
No, I can't remember. I'm throwing out terms, man. I don't know. Integration by substitution.
We did go in a lot of detail into differentiation, integration, but they're like not that.
That's literally the last time I did it because COVID struck
Yeah.
halfway through that year, and they were like, okay, you know, psych, you don't have to do any A levels.
Which was crazy.
It was really weird.
It's fucking wild.
It was super weird. And then I've literally never ever done anything like that again.
Yeah.
I tutored GCSE maths, but that's like
Not the same.
quadratic. So that's
They don't do that then, do they?
No.
Differentiation.
No. So yeah, I mean, I actually funnily was thinking like 2 nights ago in bed when I was unpacking my thoughts for the day, right, as we were just saying. But I was thinking, I'm going to make myself sound like a neek on a podcast right now, but I was like, I would like to sit down and try and do an A-level maths paper.
A-level would be hard, yeah. We could we should try it.
Because I know there's loads of stuff that I wouldn't remember how to do.
Yeah.
Loads. And like, I don't even know if I could answer a single question at this point in time.
I reckon we could.
No, you could. Probably.
I reckon you could.
No,
I reckon
maybe.
if we sat down, we could definitely get like 20%.
Maybe, but what I actually meant was sit down and be like, fuck, don't even remember what that is. Like, I can't, it's not even like, oh, I know I need to integrate this, but I can't remember how to do it. It would just be like, I don't know what that means. And then I would go and learn it and come back and see if I could get like a good grade in an A-level maths paper. Because it is fun.
It is quite fun.
It is fun. I know I just
Bro,
said,
we're such nerds.
yeah, we are such nerds.
Ah.
But it's cool. I don't know,
cool.
maths is cool.
It's like we were saying on a podcast before, last fucking year,
Yeah.
that if either of us were slightly more nerdy, we probably wouldn't know each other.
Yeah,
we're just
like,
extroverted enough.
Yeah.
to say hello to each other.
Yeah, mate, I reckon I could be like emperor of the nerds because I feel like I still have enough of like a social ability. But then like
emperor of the nerds.
Yeah, but then if I meet like some serious nerds who don't really talk to people,
yeah,
I could still be like, oh, what are you coding? And then they'll be like, I'm doing this, and I'll be like, oh, I know what that is. And then they'll be like, oh, you know what that is. And then they would be like, oh, I like this guy. I can be friends with this guy. But then I could still, I could build a little nerd army. I reckon I could be like a Steve Jobs and just be like, fucking get all my songs inside of this phone right now.
Oh yeah.
I reckon I could do that. No, I don't know. But
we can get an army of nerds in our business.
Yeah, man. I feel quite comfortable with nerds. I feel quite comfortable around them. They're interesting people.
Would you date a nerd?
Would I date a nerd? Well,
what if they're smarter than you?
Not happening. Yeah. No.
Kidding, it can't happen.
Yeah, that's what I meant. No, but I think I've heard that like, highly intelligent nerdy couple where they're both like that have autistic children. So
that's fine.
Yeah. Just raise some like absolute weapons.
And then hire them.
Yeah, hire my son. Hey kid, but yeah, I'd date a nerd. It just depends. Here's what I was about to say earlier was that nerds are great, but we're both, like we said, not that nerdy, where I feel like I need some non-nerd friends. Like I definitely also need some friends who are just like you can chat shit with kind of thing.
Yeah.
And are like socially intelligent, but if you brought up like A-level maths to them, they'd call you a virgin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like you need a little bit of both. At least I need a little bit of both. Like if all my friends were just geeks, that would kind of piss me off.
Yeah, nah, I agree.
Yeah.
You gotta have that balance.
Yeah, well, I think we got that balance. I think that's why we get on. I think that's why we do podcasts and shit, because it's just like...
We're pretty aligned on our nerdiness levels.
Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah.
I think we are.
Yeah.
Well, we can... Because,
So I did actually sit down and do a GCSE maths paper.
When?
A couple of years ago. A year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Why?
I did part of it with my girlfriend and a little bit with my mum, because my mum's terrible at maths, and I sat there like, how can you not do this? It's like, this is not hard. It's like those questions where it's
were you just doing it with your girlfriend to be like, can you do this?
Yeah, just a bit of fun
with her, or like, because surely you did not need reassurance that you could still do your GCSE maths paper.
But she couldn't do some of the questions. No offense. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean you personally, like if you
it was fine.
Yeah.
I think I'd struggle at A level. I'd really struggle.
I would.
But the GCSE is like fine. I think there was one question I couldn't do because it required some of the laws you have to remember about circles.
Oh, the circle theorems
and
thing.
yeah, the circle theorems, and I'd forgotten them because
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
But most of the circle theorems, I think you can actually figure out with just if you think about it a bit.
Yeah. It's all
Um,
just shortcuts to obvious geometrical things. Like parallel
Yeah.
lines do this and a triangle does this, therefore if you put it in a circle.
The
it's
circles,
gonna do that.
they're slightly more complicated than the
Yeah.
parallel lines
Yeah.
on the like triangle and
But what I mean is
line
they're
stuff.
built
They're
from
built
those
with them,
ones,
yeah. Zangles and fangles. You remember
And
them?
fangles.
Yeah, there's like an F where the
Oh,
two armpits of the
yeah,
F
Z
are
and
the
F
same angle.
angles. Sorry, yeah.
Zangles and fangles.
Zangles and fangles. I've not heard that.
Yeah, that's what they.
I was like,
That's
hell
what
of
they
a
taught us.
fangle. You're a fangle, bro.
Oh, thanks, bro.
But yeah, no, I remember the fangles and the zangles, and I did the tutoring for GCSE, right, which wasn't that long ago, and yeah, that kind of, I remember the first session I hadn't done any prep because I was like, this is gonna be easy, and then the kid was aiming for like a 9, and we got on some tough questions at the back of the paper, and I was like, so step 1, and then I was like, fuck, think of step 1, like I was really having to like buy myself some time, but then after that, yeah, it's all pretty fine.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
My tutor is he dumb? Is he retarded?
Yeah. Well, it was my first ever session, so
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I signed up to be a tutor with my tutor,
Mm.
and then I never got any sessions, which
Mm.
kind of sucked.
That's what happens. I still get like an email a week, probably. I got a call yesterday,
Really?
and it was no caller ID. So I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" So I picked it up. It was just some woman who didn't have her caller ID turned on. For some
She
reason.
wanted
She just wanted tutoring. I was like, "Oh, sorry, don't do it anymore." But
Damn.
shows you the power of like, because I did it on a website called Nextdoor, which is like local
Right.
social media or something, where it's just like you give it your postcode when you sign up, and then anyone else on the website remotely close to your postcode is automatically got access to you, and you've got access to them. So it's just people being like, does anyone want their roof repaired and shit? Like, it's a lot of local business kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But
That's a cool idea. I
It-
didn't even know it existed
yeah,
though. So
it is good. I mean, I say it's good. The really interesting thing, side note, about that website is that virtually everyone on it is middle-aged and not a user of social media, in terms of like every post has just got like, oh, you're clearly like an old person who's never done social media before. It's, just the way they
Yeah.
introduce themselves and all this stuff. And you can have a good laugh at that. But the interesting thing is they still turn into fucking pricks. Like, the people have arguments about nothing on that website. And my parents use it, and they don't use any. My parents don't use social media at all.
Mhm.
But they're both on this website because, like, for example, there was like a fatal crash not far from my house a few weeks ago.
Really?
And yeah, there was a guy on a
Shit,
bike.
dude.
And you might see on the way out all the flowers wrapped around a tree.
Oh, I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
that's it.
saw that a few weeks ago. Yeah.
That's it. And he like, for that kind of thing, it's great because all the like the gossip is on. Like, you hear people, oh, I saw it and this is what happened, and
Yeah.
like, it's good for like community stuff, which is kind of how it like markets itself. But people immediately like just put like rude comments, and then there'll just be like arguments that go on for like 10 pages between two people on the website, and you're like, it's just funny because old people are all like, oh, young people in social media, and like,
and they're
whatever.
doing it too.
And then they just do the exact same thing as soon as they find a social media that like doesn't count as social media to them. But that was the side note. But yeah, anyway, but I became the top tutor in whatever my jurisdiction. It was called like Farnham and something else, Farnham and Rowledge, or it was like the jurisdiction that included a few.
Mate, you
little
must have
towns
got so
around
much
Farnham.
pussy for that.
Hell yeah, man! Bunch of cougars kept messaging me.
Yeah.
But no, but because I'm on the top of that list, I still get people being like, "Can you tutor my child?" kind of thing.
Yep.
And it's cool because it's like infinite marketing from there on. It's like I did a bit of marketing at the beginning, and now obviously.
So does that mean that you're a marketing expert? So when we do our business together,
only if it's on nextdoor.com.
no,
and there's not much competition. But there's
you are
also-
my marketing expert,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, well,
I'll be your product
definitely
dude.
Not. I'm definitely not. I would happily tackle that side of things. I'd
Product.
happily be that guy. Yeah.
Or market.
Marketing.
All right.
I'd happily do everything not to do with the product.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Product's the most fun bit.
Yeah, but that's why you're doing it, because that's what you think. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you you're better at.
Yeah,
than me
I
at doing
think
kind
that
of thing.
you would get FOMO and start building the product with me.
I would have to be intimately involved, but I wouldn't. You could take lead.
You can get intimately involved.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that's what all this business shit's about, really. But yeah, I think I would happily do that stuff, and I think you like building shit more than me, so
Yeah, buddy.
let's do that.
I'm excited. When's your degree finish? I'll ask you every episode.
Yeah, you do mid-June.
Mid-June.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to stay around for the parties. I'll have to.
Yeah, of course.
But
Let me know if you need any help with them.
Yeah, oh, you can come along. But yeah, I reckon I'll be home 25th of June, probably, by the latest.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
And what are you going to do? Still no plans?
No real plans. I want to head back out east at some point, but I will need to work and earn money to get my flights and shit and all the rest of it. At the very least, my flights. But frankly, I'm thinking I might do at least a few months of a little bit of menial work, birdseed factory type.
Dude, they'll take you.
Yeah.
If I recommend you, it's actually not that far.
Where is it?
It's in Borden.
French. Oh, Borden, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not far from here. I mean, I would drive to basically here. To
Yeah,
get there,
and then
so.
go through. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, I mean, yeah.
they pay pretty well, and if I vouch for you, they'll 100% take you. I can drop them a line.
What do they pay?
It's like 13 an hour.
That is quite good, actually.
It's
I say it's good. I don't know these days if that's good.
It's not amazing, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember getting something like $9.50 at the removal place that we were both
things
at.
have moved since then.
Yeah, and being
pay
like,
more.
that's great, but
Yeah.
that's not very good now.
It's because we were getting paid £5 an hour before with our.
Yeah.
When I was doing my pizza job, I was on £5 an hour.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was a while ago though, wasn't it? Like when you're not even when you're like a minor as well, they can pay you even less.
My first job was £4 an hour.
Really?
Yeah, fuck, dude.
That's hilarious that they can do that. I mean, I know £4 was more like £6 because of inflation.
It's still like fuck all. £4 an hour.
Yeah, it's outrageous,
Dude.
yeah, that's such little
do
money. Yeah,
You do a 10-hour day, you get 40 quid.
Yeah.
That's insane.
it is insane. Just like a pound every 15 minutes. Like a pound.
Yeah.
A pound. That's like
That's like a Freddo.
yeah, it's less than a Freddo probably these days, mate.
Imagine how long it takes to buy a telescope.
Yeah, or anything.
How much were
frankly.
those telescopes?
That one. Oh, these ones. Sorry.
Either. How much was that one?
That one's like 120.
£120.
A bit less, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's call it 100. Let's call it 100. I can't really remember. It's quite old. Some of these ones they varied hugely.
I do wonder about that. Can you have a double fucking lensed one so I can look through both eyes? I guess it just doesn't work.
The ones here all look like they've got a single.
It's just like it would be so cool to have both eyes on.
Yeah. I mean, some of these. There's one here for 400 on Curry's, which is what I googled was best telescope on the market, which obviously shit telescopes put on their like tags. There's one here for 15.5 grand.
Bro.
Let's have a look at this fucker.
I feel like that would be a cool.
Looks like a stormtrooper.
It does.
Vixen ASD2 VMC 260L.
Can we come up with some business idea where it would be reasonable to pay 16 grand for a telescope?
What, just like it? This is a business
Telescope
expense,
viewings.
so we get it on the company.
Yeah. Well, how
chart.
can we do that? Like, we're in the wrong country for that kind of thing, aren't we?
How so?
Well, so much light pollution.
Yeah, get up to the Highlands, mate. Go up a hill. I remember hearing one of my friends saying that they so you know Matt,
Mm-hmm.
his mum is like an ultra runner and all this kind of shit. She probably wouldn't like that label, actually. She's more of an Ironman runner.
Okay.
You know, Ironman, all that shit. And she got some incredibly good times for her age bracket in various world Ironmen. And so she got an invite to the Ironman, which is an invitational one in Hawaii. And
That's cool.
The only way you get into it is being in the top. So I'm coughing now. The top like 1%, or I don't know what percent, top 0.5% of some in multiple Ironmen in 1 year. for your age bracket, and that's the only way you get invited to this one. The only way you can compete.
She doing it?
She did it. She
did it.
She did it in, I'm going to say 2018, 2017, around that kind of time.
Explains why Matt's such a beast.
Yeah, it does, and his dad does them as well.
Really?
I think his mum is better for her age and gender than his dad.
Oh, right.
Fucking
pussy.
Yeah, for
sorry,
her
Matt's
gender.
dad.
I don't actually know if she's faster or not. You know,
literally,
yeah. But just for her. Anyway, I actually don't know. But she. So they all went out as a family to Hawaii. I remember, like, I've told people, like, they say, I do Ironman running and shit, Ironman triathlons, and I'll say to them, like, oh, my mate's mum went to the Kona one. I think Kona is the island, where it happens, and they're always like, holy shit, like it's like, you know, it's huge, even
big
for
deal,
even for freaky people who do Ironmans, because those things are like incredibly hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like let's look up how far is an Ironman.
We need to build this product, mate. This is so annoying.
Yeah.
How hard can it be?
So an Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim, which that's got to be pretty rough. A 112-mile bike ride.
Yep.
And then a marathon. So it is pretty intense.
I'd have to learn to swim to do that.
So that's a 3.8k swim, yeah, 180k bike ride, and then a 42k run. So it's pretty long day at the office.
I reckon I could do it.
Do you think?
But I might drown, so I'd probably need some swimming lessons.
Yeah, that's a really long swim. That's got to take it the fuck out of you.
And then you go on a 112 mile. Is that what it was? 112 mile bike ride.
Yeah.
That's like to Birmingham.
Yes. So you swim. So I remember I did a.
What's the length of the pool? Like 25 meters.
Yeah. Have you done like outdoor water swimming?
Like in the sea?
In a lake. Have you done lake swimming? We should go to
I've
Mitchell.
swum in a lake.
I think it's open.
I fucking hate swimming.
Yeah, I don't like swimming. But they have like markers all around. And then you have like a little floaty thing that you have to attach to your backs on a string so that they see where you are.
Oh, you know, I have done this.
And you go all the way around the lake. It takes fucking forever.
How far is that?
I think...
like 1k?
I think I did a K, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I did 2 laps of the 500-meter circuit. It takes a long-ass time, and I was worried I was going to chun into the lake at one point. Because the thing is, stroke efficiency is like a real thing.
Yeah.
And like you've just got to go really slow. And if you go really slow, you can go forever.
Yeah.
Like, but in an Ironman...
You get bored. I get bored.
Yeah,
I'd rather just fucking die.
Yeah. But I don't have...
Speaking about our boredom earlier.
Yeah. I don't want to be bored, man. I can't go on my phone while I'm swimming. But,
yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, back to the story. So that they did this Ironman. She did this Ironman. She did well. Obviously, it's super elite. Like I don't think she's like competing to win it or anything. But it's like the most prestigious Ironman event. Apparently, it's really hard. Everyone's obviously super fast. And Matt went to an observatory on the top of a mountain on one of the islands.
The Keck Observatory.
Yeah, the Keck Observatory.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah,
we need to get him on.
Yeah, and but you know, by the sounds of things, so you can get on some of these telescopes that I've just been looking at a device where rather than pointing at yourself, you just say Jupiter, and it just knows where it is, and then it stays tracking, because obviously you probably saw the moon. You can literally see craters go out of shot in real time.
Yeah,
because it's moving so quickly. So if you imagine for a tiny planet, it's gonna be moving. It's gonna you're gonna be able to watch it move. So it will stay on track and it will follow it throughout the night, so that you're always looking at Jupiter or whatever you want to look at.
So badass.
But apparently you'll have, it's like no light pollution whatsoever. You're in the middle of the Pacific. I mean, you couldn't get more remote really if you tried. All of the lamps on the island, all of the street lamps have a specific different shape, so that none of them reflect light upwards.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff, just to increase the, the sort of, or decrease the light pollution on the island.
How much do flights to Hawaii cost? I
So
feel like,
loads.
they're like $1,000.
Loads more. I don't know.
Really?
Probably. LA would be close to $1,000, and then you've got to get from LA to Hawaii, and that's still a long flight. And LA's on fire at the moment, so I don't know if you can. You probably can fly.
Have you seen that day in Hawaii where the sun is directly above them and there's no shadows? Well, there are
really?
shadows,
I had
but
that
the
in
shadows
Ghana.
are-
I had that in Ghana.
Really?
Yeah, because it's on the equator. Well, it's almost on the equator. I say no. There was like
Tiny bit of shadow. Everything looks really weird, right?
it is really weird. It's really weird. There's just no everything. There's no shadow. You feel like you're in like a video game.
Yeah, where
Because
it's
the
not
light
rendered
doesn't
properly.
really work.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so weird. I forget what it's called in Hawaii. It's got a name.
Is it only one day of the year?
I
I mean,
yeah, I think so.
For me, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like we were on there on the special day. It was just you're pretty
How
much
it was.
on the equator in an African country, and there was virtually no shadow. There might have been a bit, but yeah, it's wild, super wild. But yeah, and they've just got telescopes for every planet set up.
Yeah,
so like,
you could just
I
go
wanna
over to
see
that one.
Jupiter, I want
and
to see Saturn, and then like the whole sky
It's
is just
so
stars.
cool, mate.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so sick.
What I say I want to do. This is like so pie in the sky, but I would love when people like sail the Atlantic or the Pacific like solo in a sailing boat or something, and they do all that kind of shit. I don't necessarily that would take forever, but can you imagine just soloing 2 weeks on the open water, and at night you're just like 100 miles from land? How good the stars would look on a clear night, because you're literally. It couldn't be any darker, really.
No,
It's just sea and sky.
I think it's an awesome idea, and I'd hate to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be scary as
Quite
fuck.
frankly.
It'd be scary as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get eaten by a fucking killer whale.
I don't even mean that. I just mean if you got issues, if your boat breaks down or something, you
Yeah.
just fucking starve.
Have you seen that Vendée Globe race? It's like an around the world
boat race. Yeah. That
It
sounds
starts
crazy.
in like France, I think.
Right.
And my dad's telling me about it because he's keeping up with it.
No, yeah, your dad loves all that stuff.
He does love that stuff. And I'm pretty sure this girl had her boat break down, like the mast came off, and she was like going around sawing all of the rigging off. She had to give up the mast because if the mast gets underwater, it can and a current hits it. It's like having a massive keel under your boat, so it just fucking flip your boat over.
Oh god.
Crazy.
Fuck.
And she made a makeshift sail
Yeah.
and sailed to Melbourne or something like that.
Where she was near and
Yeah.
said, "I'm in deep shit."
Yeah.
Surely they got radios and stuff though. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think it's hard to get help to so many boats so
Yeah,
quickly.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to capsize.
Yeah.
But the sea is scary. It's something like, I've done a bit of sailing. Like, I know what it's like to sail a boat. I've done dinghy
some as
sailing.
well.
I've done
Mm.
yacht sailing. I just think cars are the coolest. Then it's planes. Then, I mean, I haven't done helicopters, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Motorbikes would be badass as well, but I don't
Yeah.
want to die. So,
Yeah.
and then it's boats.
Boats at the bottom.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
no trains at the bottom.
Oh, trains at the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trains are just
Yeah.
full.
You see, we're not that autistic, Jamie.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't see how they can be that fun. Like they're one-dimensional form of travel.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah, it's not particularly interesting. Is
Cars are pretty cool because they're like two-dimensional.
it? Yeah, where do
form of
rockets
travel.
place, mate?
Oh yeah, rockets are like top, bro.
Yeah, they've got to be pretty.
I'd
close
love
the
to
top.
fly a rocket. Is that what
Yeah,
it's called?
There's,
They need a new verb for that.
did you see when Starship landed itself?
Yeah,
and it
oh
got
my
caught?
God,
They're
it
doing
was
that
insane
tonight.
with the
They're
chopstick.
doing that tonight.
Really?
Second attempt. Yeah.
When?
Well, third, 10 o'clock.
Oh, I won't be here. Yeah.
No.
I'll go home and watch it on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna be with my mates, saying goodbye to my mate who's going back off to Glasgow. But
Cool.
I'm gonna have to just whip out the phone and start watching it
Yeah.
while we're there because I just gotta watch it.
I wonder if it'll explode.
Um,
Probably not. Hey.
I think the first one went smoothly, and then the second one, they had some issue with the catching chopsticks, and so they just ditched the rocket in the sea. Like that was like the backup plan.
I haven't seen that.
Well,
A video of it.
yeah, I mean, there's videos of them ditching them in the sea all the time, so it's not. It wasn't anything really special because that's how they've always done it
Right.
while they've been building this rocket. Obviously, they've been landing their rockets for years, but this new one, they've not. They've only attempted one landing,
Yeah.
and that was the one that succeeded with the catch. But yeah, they're doing another test tonight, and so they're going to try and catch it again. So you got to watch.
Know, it's incredible. Like, whatever you think of Elon Musk and his
Yeah.
companies,
Yeah,
they are moving so quickly and making
Yeah.
progress somewhere where we just stopped making progress for
Yeah,
decades.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive. And they're not doing it slowly.
No, yeah, they're full steam aheading it.
They're full
Yeah.
steam. There's
Yeah.
no patience. They're not like,
Mm.
and I find it crazy at work. I was in meetings yesterday and the day before, full day meetings with all of the senior people at the healthcare and they're like a lot of naysaying and like people getting frustrated that we're not doing things very quickly
Yeah.
and things getting produced for the business quite slowly. Like a new feature will take, okay, well that's going to take 2 or 3 quarters to produce, say. And it's like, bruh, they're building a rocket. Like, come on.
Yeah. Please.
This is not rocket science.
Yeah,
This is-
yeah.
And I like like my website is a very well trodden path. Like millions of people have made websites.
Yeah.
Millions more that are e-commerce. Like it's not that hard. It's pre. I'm just customizing it basically. And it's the same with like most apps are just other people have done it before. We know you could do it.
Yeah.
But the rocket stuff is like, can you do this? I don't know if you could do this.
Yeah.
They're-
And then they just do it.
and they do it and they're succeeding at it.
Yeah. They've
It's like
smashed it so far.
Different league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And what a big impact it will have on humanity when it's all said and done, and those the starships are launching multiple times a day
Yeah.
and shit.
It will be crazy.
Elon says he wants unmanned Mars missions with this rocket that's testing tonight in 2 years for the launch window, for the next launch window. I mean,
Fuck yeah.
we'll see if that happens.
It's going to take probably 4, but
Yeah, I'd imagine in 2 launch windows time. So when is the next one? Let's look it up, because I had a feeling it was in even numbered years, but then I think it probably changes. Let's have a look. Pull that up, Jamie. Mars.
Jamie.ai, you mean?
Yeah, I do. Mars next launch window. Okay, it says 2020. It's pretty smart. Okay, November to December of 2026. So that's the one. So clearly he said that last month or something. When
that one
was,
is going to be going
So
to Mars.
he wants the November to December 2026 launch window to be when he sends the rockets there for the first time, which it's not
So
that unfeasible.
is there only a launch window every 2 years then?
Yeah, that's the only time you can go.
Because that's when it's closest approach.
when the planets are aligned. Like Earth needs to be slightly behind Mars. Like if you imagine Earth obviously gets more orbits than Mars because it's closer. Like its orbital period is smaller.
Yeah.
So it will pass Mars, and then you've got to wait for it to come back round so that it's like just behind Mars. And then when you launch, you kind of catch up.
Yeah. That's Kerbal Space Program right there.
It is, yeah. Sorry, certainly is. But yeah, it's every 2 years. Yeah, it's every even numbered year, but then the months move forward. So it's November, December 26, but then I'd imagine it will be like early 29 by the time the next. Why will it not just? Oh, it's every 26 months. Is the period that you can launch in.
I wonder if we had that kind of hard limit at this company. Like, our window is 2026. It has to be done.
Yeah.
It has to be fully completed.
The planet requires that it's...
Yeah. Like, I actually think this is great. I'm going to use this in my next meeting.
What? And just be like launch windows.
Yeah. Launch window. That's such a good...
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Because I've been really battling with how... Like, because I really don't know enough technical knowledge. And the people above me know even less. Because they're not the developers, right? There's, like, the CTO who knows loads.
Yeah.
But the people who are always, like, go faster, don't have the technical knowledge.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a battle. And how do you make a company that's decisive enough so that you actually get things made?
Yeah.
And they come up with loads of excuses. And I'm like, bro... Companies do it. They are out there. They exist.
Yeah.
Humans do it.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it? It doesn't make sense. You're just coming up with excuses. So,
do you not think the higher ups just shouldn't be the people that they are in terms of like there should be technical people at the very top?
I think probably it's better if they have good technical
Yeah.
knowledge.
Well,
But
that's
they're,
Elon,
they're
right?
so hard to come by, mate.
Mm.
It's what I want to be. It's
Yeah.
why I took the decision to learn to code, because I have to. Because
Yeah.
if I'm going to run these companies, I have to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I think the best CEOs are ones that are able to see things from a big vision and that go right down into the weeds and
Yeah.
really work on
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well, that's Elon, isn't it? Basically.
and Steve Jobs
Mm.
and
Mm.
Bezos.
Mm.
Yeah, they're like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what Branson's like.
I feel like probably not.
I don't think he's like that. is he?
I'm pretty sure he's not. But also, like, Branson is not a serious player in the space stuff anyway. Really.
Is he not?
No.
No. I remember hearing Bezos say that he wanted to make... So Amazon was the most customer-focused business in the world, was the goal.
Right.
And Blue Origin's supposed to be the most decisive business in the world, is the goal.
Right. Interesting.
So obviously at his level, he's still battling. Like, Amazon can't have been that decisive if he is saying, like, this is the goal, I want it to be more decisive than Amazon.
Yeah.
It's probably a point of frustration for him, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I guess it does happen, but still, I mean, like, there are companies that produce features like and rockets as
Yeah.
well in short periods of time, very quickly, and I need to make sure. I mean, the string art store doesn't matter; like, it's not a big shop, but I just want good foundations in the companies. Like, if we start a company together, we got to have really solid foundations so that
Yeah.
when it's bigger,
Yeah.
things can be changed quickly. There are
Yeah.
like procedures in place
Yeah.
that like allow for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think the biggest thing as well is hiring the right people.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are so many
That's
people
huge.
who it's not that they're lazy, they just don't believe in themselves. Yeah. There's a lot of that at work.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of smart people out there. You just have to attract them. You have to have your little tribe, and you have
Nerd
to,
tribe.
Yeah, nerd tribe.
I want
man.
you can we have a caveat? Can it be productive nerd tribe?
Yeah. Not just geeks who, don't
Yeah.
want to work.
Get shit done. GSD.
Yeah, GSD. Yeah, that's our motto.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that is sweet. That is
I'll
fucking
send
cool.
you my site when I launch. It will be the end of this month.
Will it? How are you going to host it?
Probably Amazon Web Services, but it could be a different provider. It's
Yeah.
just what I have in mind.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work to do to turn it from a like production site to a live site, though. Lots of the just loads of little things that you use,
Yeah.
like the mail service and the some of the like configuration files and things like that. You have to like reconfigure. So it's literally you have to start coding shit. So it'll be a live site and I'm still coding on it because I have to make it work. So it's kind of annoying, but
Yeah.
once I got past that hurdle, it will be live
Yeah, that's really cool.
and it's almost ready. I need to come up with branding.
Yeah.
I haven't built any branding yet. I need to do that.
What do you mean?
Like a logo.
Yeah.
It's called The Art of String, and I now have the domain theartofstring.com and theartofstring.co.uk.
Cool.
So they're mine.
Stringtheory.com. Sorry. That's
No,
definitely
I needed
taken.
art in it.
Yeah.
I had to have art in it.
Yeah, you did.
But that would have been cool. String theory.
No, well, I was just joking, to be honest. I think the Art of String it's a pretty nice sound to it anyway.
String theory could be a good like book based about it or something.
yeah. String
Or
theory.
it could be
The manual.
the manual.
Yeah.
String theory.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I need to start writing down some of these ideas. Mate, you're fucking coming up with loads of ideas today.
Mate, I'm the
Loving that.
marketing guy. I've told you this.
Yeah. Right, let me write this down. What was the thing you came up with a minute ago where I was like, that's badass? Launch windows.
Yeah, launch windows, yeah.
Fuck, that's so cool. The planets.
Yeah.
What did you say?
The planet requires that we launch. Yeah, the literal planet requires that our product launches.
I love it. Yeah.
Product launch is quite a funny thing for SpaceX to have, isn't it? You know, it's like we're launching our new product.
Boom! We've got to go watch a launch at some point, bro, because apparently it's insane.
I saw one in
Where?
Florida.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
it's
what was
so
it like? Tell
cool.
me about it.
It was a Falcon 9 launch, so the SpaceX ones that have been going since like 2012 or something, but have been landing themselves since 2016 or 17. Those ones.
Yeah.
I've got some footage on my phone. Where's my phone?
I've seen the footage. Tell me what it felt like.
What it felt like. It felt.
Could you feel it in your stomach?
Oh yeah. Well, when it launches, so basically it's on an island, right? Like I don't know if you know this about the Floridian coast, but the coast of Florida, on the Atlantic side, has got like a spit all the way down.
Okay.
I can't remember what they call it now, but basically, if you get to the if you drive to the coast in Florida, the Atlantic coast, then there's sea, and then there's like a long thin island that goes all the way down the side of Florida, and then there's more sea. A bit like Chisel Beach down in, I don't know if you know that, down in like near Weymouth and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so one of those islands is where Cape Canaveral is, which is, you know, where they do all the launches from, the NASA launches, all that kind of shit. It's where they launched the Apollo missions and everything. And so we were on the mainland, just across the water. There was a few kilometers. I want to say it was something like 6 kilometers or something of water. No waves or anything, because not really anyway, because it's not directly into the ocean. And then you could just see the rocket, and it was probably about that big.
Okay, what, like the size of your thumb?
Yeah, like...
Yeah, I'm seeing...
Like, less than...
Bit than the thumb, yeah.
Bit less than the size of your thumb if you stick it out in front of you.
Couple thumbnails.
Yeah. Maybe give it a thumbnail, actually. I reckon if you
really?
stick...
That's tiny.
It's pretty small, but...
yeah.
It's pretty small, but it's clearly there. It's clearly... You can see the whole rocket, and you're like, oh shit, that's a rocket. And then we were there for like... We had dinner at a place with a huge glass window looking to the launch pad across the water.
Could you see the
launch town?
The fucking what is it that they spray on it to keep it cool? Is it keep it cool?
Yeah, like the venting. I can't remember.
What, I don't know what it actually is that they.
Well, they
is
have
it water? I don't know what they.
Liquid nitrogen or something. I don't know. Do they spray it, or is it just venting from the tanks? I don't really know.
Why do rockets? Hydrogen-oxygen reaction generates tremendous heat. Wait, no, that's not what we want.
I think it's just engine venting, isn't it, that you can see? I don't really know.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm scrolling back to see if there's any venting in the video.
Here we go. Cryogenic boosters are used.
Mm-hmm.
As these warm up on the launch pad, some liquids boil. And to release pressure, bleeder valves allow this gas to escape. Cryogenic boosters with liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. That makes sense. So most of what you see is water vapor because it condenses around the oxygen and hydrogen, which are very cold. There you go.
Gotcha. And then you know when they launch and like all that shit falls off the sides of the rocket, that's all ice because
they allow ice to be on it.
On the outside, it's because
you can't stop it.
They don't fill up the tanks until the last minute, right? Like the rocket gets put on the pad empty, and then they fill it up, obviously. And as soon as it's full is when they start the countdown, basically, because it's just like you don't really want all of this, you know, oxidizer and fuel just sitting next to each other for no reason.
Yeah.
But then because it's all, you know, cryogenically cooled, then a layer of ice forms on the rocket, and that's why when it launches, you'll always see like this white powder coming off the rocket. It's just ice getting shaken off the sides of the rocket.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they yeah, I can't see any venting, but then again, they are just still images, so but look, that's the best.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty big.
That's the best my camera could do. But anyway, you're just sitting there. We had dinner in this place, and like I said, it's on the waterfront, and like it's like it looked almost like a chateau. No, what's not the word? A chalet, like a big wooden place with like a huge, gigantic window, and then a balcony. So after dinner, when it was like, you know, T-minus 15 minutes, so we all go out onto this big balcony, and there's it's not loads, but there's like good 30 or 40 people, but you know, it's all on this big balcony, so lots of space. And we're all just standing there waiting. And then we had the live stream up, but it's delayed by like 30 seconds. So we were like, we don't actually know when it's going to launch. And then on the live stream, they're like, oh, less than a minute. And so we're like, oh shit, it's going to be soon. And then you're just sitting there, and then suddenly like the whole sky just goes orange. It's so bright. And I say the whole sky, a bit of an exaggeration, but like you can see it. I think we've got a video of it actually. You know, you can watch this. It's not very friendly for our podcast listeners, but
Let's have a look at this then.
I don't know how long you're gonna have to be sitting there before it actually launches.
Oh, it's going. Oh yeah, the sky does go orange, eh? Shit. Was it like crackling?
Not for like 3 minutes.
Did you like hit the sound? Did the sound wave like take a while?
Yeah,
to hit you?
you suddenly go. You just suddenly hear it. It's really crackling and loud. But and then you
Damn.
could see the booster coming back down and shit as well.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's insane. It's actually incredible. Like, there's a huge. It looks like another sun.
Yeah, yeah. It's literally about as bright as the sun. It's really bright.
Crazy, bro. Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
well, I'm excited to watch at 10 p.m. later.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it. God, we got to get video on
I
this
wish we were
podcast,
still
haven't we?
together for it because I've watched so many videos about like the updates of like all
Yeah.
the shit and like I watch all the breakdown videos after every launch and they talk about what shit went wrong and stuff. So like,
Can you send them to me? I want to
Yeah.
watch this shit.
yeah, I can send them to you.
I don't have it, so.
But it will. It takes a few weeks of what because they do like weekly update. It would take a few weeks before you kind of got what was going on. Well, I say that you're not stupid, but what I mean is like
That's fine. I'll watch it for a few weeks. That's all good.
You get like it'll be like these engines for this booster got moved to this place, and it's just like why are you telling me this? But then you slowly you understand. Like, you get an idea of what they've been working on that week, and then once you know what they've been working on that month, and then they reach a milestone, it's like, oh, shit, they've done, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can track the whole, like, build up to the launches. They're less less interesting than they used to be because nowadays, they can build the rocket so quickly. The only thing that's stopping them from doing launches, like, every week is getting approval from the government to do the launches.
That's
Yeah.
fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's super annoying.
Why do they need
They'll get
approval?
past that eventually, but so the issue is every time they launch, there's usually some issues, right? Like the launch can hit all of the targets,
Mhm.
but because it's not fully operational, it's still like, oh, we lost a few tiles from the heat shield, or like, like little things that don't count as mission failures, but are just like, oh, this didn't perform optimally. And then they have to write reports and send them to all government agencies and shit about how they're going to stop that from causing, people to die and shit. Who,
Okay, fair enough.
or killing wildlife
kind of-
when bits of the rocket fall into the sea, and like
Yeah.
they have to do all of this fucking bullshit.
It kind of makes sense, though, hey?
No, it does, but it takes ages. So
Yeah.
eventually they won't have to fill out so much paperwork, but at the moment, every time, especially for the first like 4 launches where the rocket exploded, and then it's like they have to do
Just trying to be cautious, aren't
huge
they?
lengthy reports about what went wrong
Yeah.
and how they're going to fix the issue. So but once the rocket like is flawless, then they can just launch whenever they like, basically. And NASA have paid them billions and billions to develop a moon only version that will go up to the moon, orbit the moon, has no capabilities of coming back. It won't launch people up, but it will orbit the moon, and it will dock with the new. Do you know what the Lunar Gateway is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to dock with
We were
that.
talking about it last night. I
Well,
wonder if you could see it go across the moon with your telescope.
I don't know. Interesting. I know it's completely impossible, even with the best telescope, to see any evidence of the moon landings. Like,
You know
they're just
why?
too small because it didn't happen. No, but as in, like, you could never. No telescope could see like the
That
things they
detail.
left behind on the moon. But maybe you could.
Why
maybe
not?
You could, because they're just too small. They're just too small. But I don't know if you could see the Lunar Gateway. Probably, if the sun was reflecting off the solar panels and shit, it's going to be quite a big thing. I don't see why not. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe it would just be like a little speck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
pretty cool.
anyway, they'll send a starship and dock with the Lunar Gateway, and then they'll launch humans on another rocket. They'll live on the Lunar Gateway, and then they'll just use the starship to like ascend and descend to the moon when they're going
Yeah.
down for missions, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
That'd be pretty badass.
Yeah.
They can really prove that we did go to the moon in
And
back in the day.
he also wants to use this rocket. If you just packed it full of seats like an airliner, you could get like 500 people on it or something ridiculous. And so he wants to do that. He wants to do not domestic, but like suborbital flights around the world. And it's London to Sydney in like 27 minutes or something.
Right.
Yeah. Which would be crazy if that became a thing that was like super common. It'd be like,
Yeah.
that would be crazy.
I doubt that'll happen though.
Ever.
No, I just you have like a different way of propulsion because I I think that our energy expenditure on Earth, in that regards, is probably going to be pretty limited.
Yeah, as in
It's just because it just damages the planet so bad.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in space, you can put out a lot of energy without doing any damage.
Yeah.
But you need to get the energy from somewhere. So I was talking yesterday with the CEO, as you do, and we had this little game we had to play where you are in charge of the world as a pair. What 3 things do you change?
Yeah.
And
everyone's white. No.
Could you imagine if I said that?
Yeah. Sorry, don't go on. Yeah.
I said that I would make a global space program.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then have missions to get resource from space.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you develop a really good hydrogen engine.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling?
I'm just smiling at the idea of you just being like, I have an idea.
I think I'd lose my job.
Yeah.
So that kind of humor not tolerated.
Yeah.
For goodness sake, Sam.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, imagine you have a hydrogen fuel cell engine and
Yeah.
you can go out to space and get basically unlimited hydrogen.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlimited, whatever you like, probably up there. Gold and shit and asteroids.
Yeah, cobalt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't have to get
Silicon.
poor
I don't
African
know if we
children
have.
to do it anymore.
Do we have a shortage of silicon? I don't think we do. I think it's the cobalt, isn't it? And
Yeah.
lithium.
The rare earth metals, all that shit.
Yeah.
Shit,
Although I'm pretty sure,
Iridium or something.
is silicon a metal or is it a
I feel like it's a non-metal.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Silicon.
Silicon.
Isn't it in the? What is it? SI. I can't remember what it is, but I think it's in the one next to halogens. Whatever they're called.
Let's have a look. It's a non-metallic chemical element. Yeah.
Mm.
What are they called when they're next? They're like half metal. Do you know what I mean?
Don't know. Don't know. But I think it's on the right-hand side of the thing, isn't it?
What are they called? Groups? Groups?
Yeah, group names.
Oh, and periods. Groups and periods.
No, it's the period. The groups, the periods are the rows, aren't they?
Oh, they. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. My phone's in French, and I don't understand enough French to read the periodic table in French.
Your whole phone's in French.
Yeah, I changed the language to French, so I actually don't know. I think they're called like, oh fuck, I actually can't remember.
I had Siri in Chinese, and then I had to switch it back because it actually got annoying.
Really?
Yeah, it got annoying. Because sometimes you just don't know how to ask a question, but you actually really want Siri for something.
Yeah.
This is one for ChatGPT.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It's a
the
perfect one for
voice mode.
ChatGPT. Go on then. Oh, I just found the answer.
What are all the groups called in the periodic table?
The groups in the periodic table are commonly referred to by the elements at the top of each column or by a group number. Here are some of them. Group 1, alkali metals, e.g. lithium, sodium.
Yeah,
Group 2, alkaline earth metals, e.g. beryllium, magnesium.
knew those two.
Group 17, halogens,
Oh.
chlorine, chlorine. Group 18, noble gases, helium, neon. There are other groups as well, including transition metals and lanthanides.
Okay.
Is there a name for group 6?
Group 6 is often called the chalcogens. This
What? Okay, what were you going to say?
They're called metalloids. That's what I'm
Metalloids.
talking about.
Oh, you were
but there's
talking about
also post-transition metals.
Mm.
Like with that, so aluminium is a post-transition metal,
Mm.
and you also have the transition metals.
Yeah, it's non-binary. Non-binary metals.
And some have unknown properties. It's interesting. I guess we haven't studied them.
Okay, it wasn't a group 6 anyway.
No.
Silicon.
What
but
did it say? Group 6. So Group 6 isn't even on here.
Chalcogens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Also, another thing that
fucking-
confused me here is group 17 is halogens, but I would call that group 7. Why is it 17? Is it something to do with the transition?
So
shit?
on this periodic table, it says 17, but
Does it?
underneath it says 7A.
Ugh.
And I think that's because the top numbers, include each column of the transition metals.
Right. I see. And then the other one that's really confusing is the bloody the lanthanoids or whatever they're called, and the actinoids. I don't even know if I've got the name right now. But
Yeah, they're the
the
suckers at the
groups
bottom, aren't they? Yeah.
But they go into the side. I don't know if it demonstrates that in your
Yeah.
particular. But they're meant to go.
Well, if you put them in normally, then it makes the periodic table like super long.
Yeah, and look really stupid. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we ever really did transition metals properly in chemistry, did we? Like, it was all a little too complicated for us.
Chemistry was so difficult A level that I forgot it all,
Yeah.
which is kind of annoying because I feel like I just don't have a basic understanding now. Yeah, that one kind of failed me.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, though. I quite enjoyed chemistry. Did you?
It
enjoy
was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was too many, like, subgroups of shit. Like, what we'll be doing, like, 1 week we'll be doing something, and then it would switch to, like, this whole different thing of, like,
If they did like half the
bond
content.
enthalpy and all this kind of shit, where I'm like, I don't remember any of that now.
Yeah.
KP values, do you remember those?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't remember what that even means. What does a KP value indicate?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I remember KP, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't remember what it means.
Jesus.
Can you Google for me BMW hydrogen? Maybe do it on your laptop. Maybe you have a
Hydrogen
big-
full cells.
Yeah, because
That's what,
my
Elon
buddies
calls
last night were saying that they've had like something where they're not doing electric anymore and they're going all in.
Well, it's a gamble, but if it turns out it's way better, then they'll just be the kings of the entire world.
Yeah.
Oh, top result, BMW wants nothing to do with hydrogen.
Really?
Toyota,
Huh.
after successfully testing the BMW iX5 hydrogen pilot fleet worldwide, the BMW is now preparing the series production of vehicles with
What's the
hydrogen.
source?
The BMW Group.
Oh.
Pretty reliable.
Oh, fuck yeah. I thought it was going to be like the Daily Mail, the Daily Twist or some shit.
The Daily Twat.
Is it Friday today? It
Yep.
is, isn't it? Fuck yeah.
All right, since 2023, the BMW iX5 hydrogen has been out on the road in various parts of the world to demonstrate the technology. Blah, 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 blah. Expose the vehicle to temperatures of up to 45 degrees as well as sand dust varies, blah, 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 and they performed impressively throughout. Well, that's good to know that it doesn't fucking explode in the desert. Like, can you imagine just driving along, the hydrogen becomes like superheated.
You
or some
turn
shit.
into Falcon 9.
It's also proven suitable for everyday use in extreme sub-zero temperatures. Okay, so they've done its testing. This pilot fleet... Okay, I don't need to read any more of that. But they've been testing since 2023. It looks like a normal Beamer.
Yeah.
It's just got hydrogen written on the side.
That's pretty badass.
It is. After successfully testing, the
I don't know what the
BMW
performance is like.
is now preparing for sales of production vehicles with hydrogen drive systems in 2028. Should I ask ChatGPT what the advantages and disadvantages are over electric? Because what if Elon's just fucking wrong and hydrogen's just way more convenient?
Yeah. So they have their challenges. I know... Go on, ask it.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Do you want
do
to speak first?
Well, okay, right, fine. I was going to say that I know that the disadvantage of hydrogen is storing the fuel
Yeah,
and getting the fuel
yeah,
because, like, my dad was telling me
Super
about getting it
dangerous.
from water. And I was like, you know how much energy it takes to get from water?
yeah.
More than it fucking...
Yeah.
Like, just because of inefficiencies.
yeah, it's super inefficient.
Like, hydrogen doesn't want to be hydrogen, it wants to be water.
Yeah.
So-
It's like, it's like pulling apart really strong magnets from each other, like the hydrogen and the oxygen, and then trying to keep. And the hydrogen magnet is surrounded by oxygen magnets in every environment, and you've got to keep it away from all of them.
Because it's such a small element as well,
Yeah,
like a small compound,
yeah.
it's quite good at getting through the lattice structures
Yeah,
of
I've
metals
heard
and
this,
things like
yeah.
that. So it's kind of hard to store. It's also, I mean, like all fuel, it's an explosive.
Yeah.
So
That's why it's a fuel. Yeah.
yeah, but then you have massive problems with the storing electricity
Yeah.
in batteries. So
Yeah.
and they have mad power, but they are kind of gay. Like the fucking power delivery's sick, but they sound
mad power, but kind of gay.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's better than a hybrid.
Yeah. Those things are very gay. My dad wants to get a new car at the moment. What would you recommend? Would you have any recommendations? Because I don't really know what to recommend him. He's asking me for recommendations.
Well, what does he want?
I was thinking Bugatti. No, it needs to be, I don't know, 40k ish. The thing is, he wants to get a hybrid.
Okay.
because he can get money off from work if he gets electric or hybrid. But my dad thinks electrics are gay. So,
okay.
but then he wants to get a hybrid, which I'm like, well, that's not much better. I don't know. I don't know. If you were going to get a car, a bit like the Discovery thing, but would you have a preference?
I don't know. What, like an SUV?
Yeah, an SUV of a similar price range.
I don't know, mate.
I just wondered if you had any.
If he wants to get pussy, he should get like an Alfa Romeo.
Okay, I'll tell him that. My mum will be like, David does not want to get pussy.
I feel like maybe the Volvo.
Yeah, that's what my dad wants to get, and I think that's not a bad option either.
They're a bit like frumpy. They're a bit like old man car.
Yeah, but my dad's a bit of an old man, and they don't break down. Volvos
They're
are pretty good for breaking
They're
down.
quite nice.
Yeah,
Eh?
they are quite.
They
nice.
are like a pretty heavy,
Yeah.
big thing though. But
Yeah.
I don't know. They're Swedish, so they're gonna be good.
Matt wants to buy an old Volvo, like one of the old Volvo estates, and just like run it on fucking alcohol or some shit. You know,
Yeah.
you know how people just can beat the living shit out of those cars
Yeah.
and just keep running.
They do like, a couple million miles. They're
yeah,
good.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so heavy, but they just keep running.
Right, go on then. Ask ChatGPT.
What was the question?
Hydrogen and
Yeah.
electricity.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of hydrogen cars versus electric cars? Like in the long term, when both technologies have been improved upon to the nth degree, which one? Well, like, what are the advantages and disadvantages of both?
Hydrogen cars and electric cars each have their own advantages and disadvantages. Hydrogen cars' advantages: quick, similar to gasoline cars. They offer long driving ranges. Emissions are only water vapor, making them environmentally friendly. Hydrogen production is energy intensive and not always green. Infrastructure for refueling is limited and expensive to develop. Electric cars more efficient and have a growing infrastructure of charging stations. Maintenance is generally lower and involving fewer moving parts. Renewable energy can be used directly to charge them, making them greener. Disadvantages: longer charging times compared to refueling hydrogen. Currently, battery production and disposal have environmental impacts. In the long run, it might depend on how infrastructure and technology evolve, but both are promising for a sustainable future.
Okay, didn't tell me anything that was like not kind of obvious. That I could've worked out
Yeah.
myself.
Why do they keep cutting out? What's with that?
I think it's just I think it's the connection in here. I don't really know.
We can't be having that with our product.
No, no, true. That would be a little awkward.
It would be annoying.
I don't think we would get it to read out though, would we? It would just be bringing up search results. I think.
Yeah, no reading out. I think, bringing up search results is the main point of value
Yeah.
to begin
yeah,
with, for sure.
Yeah, that would be a nice, just
It'd be so good.
minimum viable product basically.
Mate, the amount of times we would have used it in this podcast.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
Well, it's well in
Projected
double
onto the
digits.
wall,
Yeah,
yeah.
just have a projector or
Yeah.
a screen.
Yeah,
And then,
I like it as well because we came up with it by doing podcasting.
yeah.
It's like even if this podcast never worked, imagine if the product did, and then it'd be like, well, the podcast was worth it.
Part of me thought, like, what if we just halve the amount of podcasts we do, and instead we meet up and build the product?
Yeah.
But not yet.
No. No.
But we should definitely. I think we should do that actually.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we should. I don't know how. Like, you're going to be in the lead with it because I am not going to know what I'm doing with the coding, but it might be a case of like I could at the very least understand the kind of the stack of what's required. Like, so the first bit, we need to integrate it with.
Mate,
the
you're
network.
smart. You could get right into the detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you learnt one coding language as well, if you just only learnt one,
Python. I already know a bit of. But
Well, look, it's not that hard. I'd show you through. Most languages are written in a way where you can kind of read it. Like you can
Yeah.
if it's more about how you've written your program. If you've written your program really badly,
yeah,
then
have all
but-
your comments and shit.
yeah. But if I like comment in like, oh, this is what this does. Most of it's just like, the basic like principles of it remain
Yeah.
the same across coding. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll figure it out. It's really cool.
And yeah, I guess it's a lot of work building a product.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could build the website. Well,
Mm.
you could brand it. What I'll probably do is duplicate the website that I'm making for String Art Store,
Yeah.
and at some point along the journey of it, because it's obviously becoming an e-commerce store,
Yeah.
at some point I can cut it and be like, we copy from here, and then we
Yeah.
turn it into more of a software as a service store.
Yeah.
The great thing about having custom websites where it's literally coded as a completely custom standalone thing. Doesn't no dependencies on like WordPress or Wix or something. The great thing about that is you can first of all build super custom features. Like you can do some crazy shit with JavaScript where you can make really cool websites. Like the world is your oyster. You can make all sorts of funky features. I know that like you can make websites that look as professional as the Apple one when you scroll and all the things change and you're like, dude, it can be so cool. So many sites are WordPress sites and they're just blocks and they look shit. It's like 90% of e-commerce stores are like that. Probably more actually. The other thing as well is that loads of cybersecurity, like cyber attacks, are targeted on weaknesses within Wix or WordPress, and they go around looking for sites made by WordPress. And see if they haven't been patched yet for one of the known issues.
Crazy.
But if you're a custom site, you're much less likely to get caught out with those kind of things. Someone would have to target you for a reason, basically. They want you there. They're like, oh, this site looks like it might be a bit newbie. Let's see if we can. So obviously you have to be aware of it still, but I often think with the string art store, it'd be so nice if Sam were here, just like helping me build the whole thing. Oh, dude, stuff would get done.
Yeah, mate. 50% equity is all I ask. Yeah. No, I'll quit my degree. I was like, why the fuck have you quit your degree? I'm like, the string art store, mum. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that would be kind of dumb.
Mum, it's the art of string.
No, but our AI product.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Cool. That was a nice ramble, man. Shall we wrap up?
Yeah, such a ramble this one.
Yeah, no, but I quite enjoyed it. I mean, we've not seen each other in a while, so I thought before you arrived, I was like, I feel like
we have stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
when we don't see each other.
Plenty of stuff to talk about.
When there's guests and we have a new topic,
yeah,
it's like speaking to a different Sam and a different Jamie.
Exactly.
So is it the ones where we've done like 3 this week?
Yeah,
we're like, dude, we've kind of said everything.
Yeah, we have a little bit. Should we try and? Because I go back on in about a week. I think it's just over a week.
Okay.
So, would you like to see if Saxon's around, just so we can say we did?
Yeah. So I'm in Wales on the 15th and the 16th, and Saxon's normally really busy, but I'll try Friday evening, or you could be gone.
Let me. This and a week's day. No, I don't. I think I leave on Saturday, so I think I could do Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
If not, then it'll have to be like Monday night.
Okay.
And Saxon works, so I don't know when he's working.
Yeah.
So
Will we do it here or what?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll pick him up.
Yeah.
Drag him here. I have got another microphone that's
it's
fine.
It's fine.
He might sound a little bit shit compared to us. I think he should have the one that is worse. Okay. Not because we hate guests, but otherwise it changes how we sound and like.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. But yeah, anyway, all right. Thanks for listening to The Shed, guys.
Nice to be back, everyone. Let's get a strong 2025 in.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing where we are by the end of 2025 with this.
Pretty dank, I think. It'll be...
I think it will be good. I mean, like I said, by June, I'll be free to actually commit to this thing big time.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Peace, guys.
Peace. Bye.
See you soon.